How's it going? Dr. J here with Thrive Spine Center with another powerful, inspirational message. Remember, if you're inspired by anything I have to say today, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Thrive Spine Center. Today's message is about the number one cause of bankruptcy. The number one cause of bankruptcy is medical debt. In fact, you heard it first and foremost. The number one cause of bankruptcy is medical debt. And it's not really because of medical debt. It's because people neglect to take care of themselves. For some reason, there's this notion that we're invisible, that it isn't going to happen to me. And the reality is it does, because if you look at the top 3 killers in this country, whether it be heart disease, cancer, or diabetes, you look at all those diseases, oftentimes you don't feel them until when? Until it's too late, when the problem's gotten to be its worst. All right? So people neglect their health, and then they end up doing highly invasive medical procedures, which costs an arm and a leg, quite literally, and they end up having to file for bankruptcy because they don't have the funds or the resources to pay for that level of debt. Okay, in 2014, right, 2014, an estimated 40% of Americans racked up debt resulting from a medical issue. Now, it's not shocking to learn that countless Americans struggle with medical debt, but what is surprising is the extent to which insured individuals have trouble keeping up. Last year, the New York Times reported that 20% of Americans under 65 with health insurance had trouble paying their medical bills over the past year. Of those, 63% claimed to have used up almost all their savings to tackle their healthcare expenses, while 42% took on an extra job to cover their costs. Okay, so unfortunately, there is no guarantee even if you have health insurance, and that's why we as a culture have to put ourselves in the driver's seat and put our temples as the number one priority in our lives. Because check it out, you can have all the money in the world, you can have millions of dollars in your bank account, you can have the fancy cars, the big homes, you can have tons of relationship capital, right? You have all these great friends and associates and things like that, but check it out, once you lose your health, you lose it all. You can't even enjoy those things anyway. Think about it. Have you ever been so sick that you've been laid up on the couch? Have you had any desire or motivation to do anything? Were you at your most productive moment when you were laid up on the couch? The answer is emphatically no. So your health is your number one asset. I like what Jack LaLanne said about health. He said, your health account is your wealth account. Right? Your health account is your wealth account, because there's no better person that you could invest in your time, your resources, and your money than into yourself, because you're betting 100% on yourself. So you have to maintain your health, because if you lose your health, you lose it all. You lose your health, you lose it all. Okay, so remember that. That is my message today. The number one asset you have is your health. The greatest investment you can make is in your health. I remember hearing a story one time about this group of 4 men who went on a mission trip. Well, it just so happened that one of the gentlemen who went on this trip was a type 2 diabetic, right? And so they get over to this third world country where they're going to do their mission work, and the guy with the diabetes gets really, really sick. So the other 3 gentlemen spend their whole time just taking care of this very sick diabetic man. And that's what I see today. You know, I'm a Christian, and I see that in the churches. And we say things like, okay, we're just going to pray for you, brother. Okay? Well, prayer isn't the answer. I mean, it's only half the equation. The other half is you got to step through that door and you got to take action. So what are the top 5 things you know that you need to stop doing right now that are sabotaging your health? Okay? And what are the top 5 things that you need to start doing that will take you towards a higher quality of life? You know, one of the things I realized in my own life that was sabotaging my health was caffeine. I was drinking caffeine every single morning. I'd go down to the coffee shop, I'd get a venti black tea. I would add shots of espresso because it wasn't enough. I needed that added boost. And each shot of espresso is like 75 milligrams of caffeine. And all caffeine does is cause your adrenals to kick out adrenaline. So epinephrine, neuroepinephrine, blood sugar levels crash, but your adrenaline goes way up. So it's like a fake level of energy. That energy boost is because your body is in a fight or flight mode. Okay, so one of the things that I did was I got completely off all caffeine a little over 160 days ago, and I can tell you my sleep has improved, my anxiety levels have gone way down, and my energy level is more even killed as opposed to being like this. So again, what are the top 5 things that you know you need to stop doing, and what are the top 5 things that you know you need to start doing? And here's the thing, right? You will begin to change when the motivation to stay the same, right, becomes worse than the level of change. Okay, I may have said that wrong, but I learned this from Tony Robbins, and he said, you know, when staying the same, right, becomes worse than actually changing, then you'll actually change. But if you're comfortable just being the same, then no matter what people tell you, no matter, you know, who comes into your life and the message they preach, you're not going to change because you're comfortable being the same. And a lot of people, unfortunately, reach a point where they hit rock bottom, where they do have the heart attack, and then they have to go to the hospital and they got to get the quadruple bypass, or, you know, they wait until they get that devastating diagnosis of cancer to finally start doing the things that they know they needed to do years ago, you know, 10 years plus ago. See, what you do now can profoundly change your overall health and well-being years later. See, a lot of people just think right now in the moment. They don't think 10 years down the road. They don't think 20 years down the road how something they do on a consistent basis can negatively affect their health years down the road. That's a problem. So you got to accept responsibility right now, and you got to say enough is enough. So if there's things that you know you need to stop doing, you need to cut out of your life that can help you live a greater life, that can help you realize your full potential, then stop doing those things. And if there's things that you could start doing now that can help you realize your full potential, start doing those things. So I'll end with this. Your body is what provides the energy for you to do what you do. Your body, your heart beats 100,000 times a day. Your lungs breathe 35,000 times a day on average. Okay? Your liver is the largest detoxification organ in your body. Your nerve system is constantly sending messages at 200 miles per hour to every single organ, tissue, cell, and muscle of your body, telling it what to do. So your body is this amazing machine. So treat it like your favorite car, right? If you had an all-time dream car, what would that be? All right? You know, if it's a Ferrari, right? What kind of fuel would you put into your Ferrari on a regular basis? Would you put sand, dirt? Would you put the regular gas in it? No, you would put premium gas into your dream car. So why don't we treat our bodies like they're a Ferrari or whatever our favorite car is? You know, I was driving around town getting to work, because I start my day off really early. I start my day about 4:30 in the morning. So I get ready, and then I say my affirmations, and then I drive to work. And I was driving, and I had passed by a gas station, and I looked over, and the gas station clerk, or the manager, or whatever he was out front smoking a cigarette, drinking a styrofoam cup of coffee. And it wasn't even the good kind of coffee. It was like that gas station coffee. And he's smoking a cigarette. And I'm sure he does that day in, day out, every day, 7 days a week. That's his habit, right? And because he has this high level of addiction to doing that every single day. Well, what's his life going to pan out to, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 15, 20, 25 years down the road? What's his life going to pan out to be, right? So think about it. Your day-to-day actions will make a significant difference in how your body heals and functions years to come. What you do now can have a great impact on your quality of life years down the road. Think of your life as a journey. Think of health as a journey. Think of it as this 1,000-mile journey, and you're trudging along and you're stepping. Well, if you start, let's say, doing a negative habit on a regular basis, it's like golf, where the club can be slightly off, degrees off, and it's going to send the ball sailing off in the wrong direction. Same thing happens with your life. You make one bad decision now, you're not going to really feel the effects of it, but you keep making those bad decisions, and all of a sudden you're way off in the wilderness and you don't even know how to get back home, right? So your health account is your wealth account. Greatest asset you have is your health. Think of those 5 things that you can start doing now that's going to take you towards greater health and well-being in years to come, and think about those 5 things that you could stop doing now that'll help you live a greater quality of life as well. So again, this is Dr. J with Thrive Spine Center. You can find me on, you can look up our Facebook page, Thrive Spine Center. You can email us at thrivespinecenter@gmail.com. You can check us out on the web. And please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're going to come up with weekly videos, daily videos, all kinds of cool things just to help motivate you along your health journey. That's what I'm passionate about. I set out on a mission, and my mission was to help inspire as many people as possible to thrive in life and realize their true potential. I was changed because I became inspired by the books I read, by the audio I listened to, by the people I chose to hang out with and associate myself with in my life, and it has changed and impacted my life for the greater good. I have a chiropractic office here in Folsom, and we help to inspire a lot of people to take better care of themselves and also their families. So I sign off now. Remember, align to thrive, and there's no greater asset than your health. Thank you so much for listening to this.